Did you know that the Bible tells us 365 times to fear not? You know, the hardest thing for us is to understand why the Bible told us that. And we have talked numerous times about what happens when you begin to fear. And we've also told you many times that you were not created to be fearful of anything. The truth of the matter is that you have the ability to live a fearless life. One that every time you put your hand to do something, you know it's going to work. Now, here's where the problems begin to come in. When you put your hand to do something and you know it's going to work, you have an expected outcome. I'm expecting that X is going to be what my result is. The problem is that X may not be your result. You will have results, but it may not be what you have already seen. There are many factors that go into that. But instead of just moving forward and understanding that we were already designed to be a success, we let the negativity come in. And then we sit back and what do? We say, oh, I can't. Oh, it's not going to work. And then we stand in our own way. 365 times God said, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. So let's talk about why we fear. What is it that brings about fear? I want you to understand this and to understand this well. Because when you grasp this once and for all, it literally will change every single aspect of your life. And all of a sudden, you realize that everything about you has the ability to exist outside of time. Because at the core of who you are is first spirit before it's physical. So you have what it takes to reach into the spirit and to say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to make this happen. These are the steps that I'm going to take and I'm going to leave the outcome to God. But I know it will be favorable. Here's why fear exists inside of us. Because, see, there's only one type of ground that allows fear to actually exist. And fear can only exist where there are lies. And here's the thing about that. When we tell people, well, the reason you're struggling with that is because there's a lie. Do you know what the first thing they say is? Well, I don't lie. I hate to tell you this. We all lie to ourselves about something. When we say, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not handsome enough, girls don't like me, guys don't like me, I'm a trauma survivor, my family didn't love me, my spouse doesn't love me, my kids don't love me. When we go through all of that, these are all lies that we tell ourselves. Is there a possibility that your family may not love you? Of course there is, but that has nothing to do with you. That specifically focuses on the family member who's struggling with that. I want to tell you what lies actually look like. Because once you begin to see them, you can address them. Because the reality is that too many of you are lying to yourself about too much. And when you are lying to yourself about who you are and what it is that you actually want, you are creating a nightmare, not only for yourself, but for everybody who is around you, for everyone who supports you, for everyone who stands with you, for everyone who does try to love you. You create a very toxic environment. You may not mean to, but that's exactly what you do. Whether it's that you withhold conversation from someone, whether it's that you openly berate them, it doesn't matter how you show it. The toxicity within the situation that you're creating is huge. So here's what the lies look like. Number one, excuses. Well, I was going to go to the store, but the dog all of a sudden got sick and I had to clean everything. Okay. Yeah. Do you know what people hear? Wah, 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 wah. Because now what they know is that really you didn't want to do it. Well, if that wasn't what you were trying to convey, then utilizing an excuse didn't do you any favors because all you did was convey a what? A lie. Saying words like trying. I'm trying to make this work. You either do or you don't. There is no try. And many of you recognize that because recently it's been attributed to Yoda. But the fact of the matter is you're either doing something or you're not doing it. You're either choosing to be in a positive space. You're either choosing to walk with integrity. You're either choosing to handle yourself and your business in a way that exemplifies who you truly want to be, or you're not. You see, the next thing that we do that stops us is that we won't sit down and put together a plan. So that's the third thing. Now, this plan does not have to be intricate. You don't have to sit back and say, I'm doing this, I'm going, I'm really working at it. No. If you're putting together a plan, you are putting together a strategic path to be able to make it. Now, y'all know I love Myron Golden, and I talk about him all the time. And Myron is very open about, I don't have a plan. Okay. Here's the thing. Myron has a plan. He just didn't sit down in the beginning and document out that plan. What he did was he came up with an idea in his mind, and then he started following the path that he saw in his mind. It didn't matter that he didn't write it down. It was still a plan. So you have to have something that is taking you from where you don't want to be to where you want to be. Because until you do that, you can't be successful. And it's funny because people will always say, plan your work and work your plan. Or if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Okay, I get it. Right. But here's the thing. Planning is about understanding what you want. And that is the number one lie we tell ourselves. You tell yourself, I have historically told myself, everybody I know has told themselves, I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't want to have too much money because I'm not greedy. Really? At the end of the day, you also don't want to be in a position where you can't pay your bills, do you? Do you want to be in a position where your children need a life-saving operation and you have to go see if a bank, the greedy bank, will ever take their time to look at your financial situation and say, oh, we're going to give you a loan to save this person's life? Nobody wants to be in that position. There's nothing ideal about that. So you don't want to have too much money because of what? What is the reason? Because there are many billionaires out there who are not greedy and have plenty of money. And when bad news comes their way, they can write a check and be done with it. Doesn't mean they don't still have problems, but what it means is that the basic necessity of life, which is some form of bartering or currency exchange, is not that problem. And here's the thing. I want each and every one of you to understand, because this is my biggest pet peeve. Y'all, I'm sorry. I'm getting ready to go off here. I am so sick and tired of people telling other people that you cannot have something because somebody else has it. That is a lie. If it were the truth, let me tell you what you wouldn't see. You would not see an orange tree produce new oranges every year. You wouldn't see a lemon tree produce new lemons every year. Because all the lemons on the tree didn't get eaten last time, so I can't produce more this time. That's not what the tree says. The tree says, oh, all my fruit's gone. I need to make more than I did last time, and it produces more. There is enough in this world for each and every one of you to have whatever it is you have the wherewithal to create. You have it in you. Quit listening to people who keep telling you that there isn't enough to go around. I will never forget the day I had to work with a gentleman. And this gentleman to this day is not one of my favorite people. And I know all of you think that because I'm a Jesus girl, I'm not supposed to not like people. But the reality is, I just don't like certain people. None of us do. So be okay with that. Deal with the fact that I too am a human being. But here's the deal. This dude sat up here and was like, listen, you can't do da 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 da. You can't do da 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 da. And he goes, and not everybody can do such and such. And I looked at him and I said, that's not true. Because if, and he was talking about money, if it were true, then no one should have any income. Because if I, as a business owner, don't hire you, then I'm sending you to a place where you will starve. Do you really think that your Father in heaven would have ever created a situation like that? Now, man may have sent it in that direction, but God would never have done that. So you've got to start looking at the things that are real in this earth. And people are not real. Do not sit back and listen to the negativity of people, because people are negative when they are not doing anything to improve their life. Your apple trees, your orange trees, your walnut trees, whatever trees are local to you, watch them produce fruit year after year and never ever stop. As long as those trees are creating that fruit, you have the ability to continue to create fruit. You get to create the life that you genuinely want. But you have to first understand that until you stop making excuses, until you stop trying, and until you stop coming up with reasons that things are hard or they're difficult or, oh, it's too, stop it. Because that's how you're standing in your way. That's how you're hurting yourself. You see, when we stop looking for the reasons that we can't, the only alternative is how can I? So the question I have for you is, how can you? How can you do what you want to do? Who can you find to work with you and to partner with you so that the two of you can get there faster? The reason that God told you it is better that there are two than one is because if two are together, they can keep each other warm. If two are together, they can stand back to back and protect each other. One can't do that by themselves. Stop isolating yourself. Learn that the things you think are a nightmare about yourself are nothing more than lies. And let me explain one last thing to you before I close us out. Listen, the fact is that from childhood, some of us got told some things that were atrocious. And the problem with that is that when it's given to you in childhood, the root is significantly deeper, and you therefore have to dig deeper to pull that root out, because you have sometimes decades of information that support that faulty root. To begin to uproot that negativity, you got to flip the coin. And it becomes, what is the opposite of that? If you come from, and I'm going to use this as an example because this is something that a lot of people often deal with. If you come from a family where people told you that you weren't enough, the first thing you have to do is turn that coin over and say, perhaps I was more than enough. And then start looking at yourself as the one who is more than enough. And before I go, I want to give you a story. There's a gentleman I know that I work with. And this man is unbelievable. This man is a beast. Like, he has a level of brilliance that you do not often see in this generation. When it comes to automation, when it comes to machines, when it comes to all of that, this man is off the charts brilliant. But when it comes to his personal life, he's a mess. You see, he used that brilliance to make up for what he was lacking as a child. And so when people bring him accolades about that, that gives him a false sense of he's okay. But what he doesn't understand is that that same brilliance, when you look at the coin from the family perspective, makes him have the ability to make him equally a success. You know, he and his wife, I guess she's his wife. I don't really know the situation between the two of them. Um, have been in the same situation forever. And he has come to a place where he has said, she's gone, I messed it up, and there's nothing I can do. That is what fear looks like. That's how fear talks to you. You know, you did this. This is all you. Because you mess this up, you have to do this, and you have to. She's never going to accept you. She's never going to want any part of you. She's never, and that's the voice that fear utilizes to do everything in its power to drop you to the floor. So, how do you look at the other side of that coin? For 15 years, the two of them have been in the same location. They have been in contact for 15 years. All it would have taken was for him to say, you know what? I'm sick and tired of this voice that plays in my head, and I want to win. I want to win with that woman. I want to win in this way. I want to give her what she has dreamt of. I want to hear what she truly wants. I want to know who she really is. And the irony is, he would have won her back. Whether he will ever choose to do that or not, that's on him. But that is really how simple it is to flip the coin in your favor. And you know what's sad? Is that when we are given the simple truth, because everything that deals with the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit is simple, but is so simple that we go, what? It can't be that easy. Yes, it can. It can be that easy. Flip the coin, read the other side, and realize that when you think you are 1,000 miles away from what you want, you're only a foot away. And the reason it took the Israelites 40 years to make an 11-day journey, because they never looked at the other side of the coin. Are you looking at the giants and saying they're too big for me to overcome? Because if you are, you're standing in your own way. So, I want to let you know we have our Masters of Reinvention Conference coming up June 7th, 8th, and 9th in the beautiful city of Scottsdale, Arizona. And we will be coming down to the Hyatt Royal Palms Hotel and Spa. This event is for you if you have reached a place where you're sick and tired of fear ruling your life and always winning. If you want to know the principles that already exist, that all you have to do is utilize, and how to utilize those principles to get to that next level, this is the conference for you. If you have found success in your financial arena, if you are excited about how things are going in your business or in your work or what have you, and you're doing well there, but there are so many other areas of your life where you aren't being successful the same way you are in business, this is the conference for you. In the link below in the description, we'll put a link, and that link will take you to the website. Go check it out. Join us in Scottsdale on June 7th, 8th, and 9th, and come see your life completely change. Learn how to walk out of pain and to stay out of that pain moving forward. Gentlemen, ladies, we are not sharing anything with you that each and every one of us here hasn't already had to walk through. There's nobody who knows us who would describe us as anything less than fearless. Because no matter what kind of hits we take, no matter what kind of struggles we have to go through, we always come back up to the top. That's why we want each one of you to have that freedom. Because at the end of the day, when you have that freedom, you are unstoppable. This conference is for you if you're unstoppable. Hey, if you like this video, hit the like button, the subscribe, and don't forget that notification button or notification bell, because every time we give you a new video, you will get a notification. I can't wait to see you till the next time.